The idea is that we're not going to be moved into being threatened to default on the debt if we don't respond.
So I really feel like he felt like he got one over on the Republicans, and maybe he did. Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, you could hear her yelling liar, and it gave the president a chance to point out that if Republicans say he's lying about them wanting to shrink Social Security and Medicare, then they really can't vote to do so. But he pointed it out in his own stumbly way.
So, folks, as we all apparently agree, Social Security and Medicare is off the books now, right? They're not to be spent.
Isn't that a mix-up of metaphors, I think? When he says off the books.
We got unanimity.
Yeah. I mean, off the books means something different than off the table. He didn't mix up his metaphors a couple of minutes later when he said this.
So tonight, let's all agree, and we apparently are, let's stand up for seniors.
And when he said this.
If anyone tries to cut Social Security, which apparently no one's going to do,
right?
And if anyone tries to cut Medicare, I'll stop them. I'll veto it.
All right. So Arizona Congressman Juan Ciscomani, who delivered a Republican response in Spanish last night, joined us a little earlier on Arizona's Morning News to talk about what the president missed last night. And if you missed our interview with Representative Ciscomani, we will replay it in about an hour here on Arizona's Morning News. And you can find it a little later on in the day on the podcast page for Arizona's Morning News at KTAR.
I actually heard that interview on my way home from work. It was interesting. I wish I'd have started this recording when they were playing the sound bites of the president trying to claim that Republicans are trying to get rid of Social Security, because that was pretty ridiculous. So good morning. It is 6:48 a.m. Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. And I just got done doing a little shopping at Fry's. I went through everything in their clearance section. There wasn't a damn thing that I wanted. There are a couple of things that I thought were okay, and then I looked at the price at it, and it was the price that they had it on clearance sale for, and yeah, not cheap enough. What really killed me is they had these Nico wafers, candies, which I actually like. It's kind of an old school like candy wafer. And on clearance sale, they had them for like, I think 60 cents a roll, which is crazy because I bought a roll the last time I went shopping at Fry's because they had a little end cap and it was only like 20 cents a roll. So I'm confused how the end cap price is higher than what the clearance, or is lower, way lower than what the marked clearance price is now. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, hard pass on that. I still got a half a roll sitting on my counter right now. I was hoping they were going to have them on clearance for like 10 cents a roll. I'd have bought them all up for that. Yeah, just oh man. I was trying to use the ATM over there at the Wells Fargo ATM over there, and the money truck guys were busy servicing it, and they're busy servicing it here too. Looks like I can get to the one in front of the bank. Looks like the same guy too. He must have just like migrated right before I did. Anyway, I gotta get. Well, I want to get some cash. It almost looks like I see the little yellow bar at the bottom of the screen, so it might not be. It might not be an option. I might have to go to a different Wells Fargo. Oh no, it's good. Okay, I'll be right after. I'll be right back after I get some cash. Brr, it is chilly out there. Well, got some cash. Got a little money for Rob to throw at my debt for keeping my cars running, and just I gotta go over there and find out what the heck happened to the battery out of the Benz. Still kind of weirded out by that. Just just absolutely not being there when I pop the hood. And a little bit of cash for my pocket. You know, that's one thing I'm definitely missing about not working over at Bullock's. I mean, my income is higher because I'm able to work more overtime at Amazon, and that just pays way better. But it was nice getting cash every week and having whoa, hello. Almost didn't see that guy. Nice to be able to just always have cash on me. And granted, the people tipped really, really bad there, but still, I mean, when it happened, it was cash in my pocket. Now I've got to make an effort to get to an ATM and withdraw some cash if I want to have some cash. So, yeah, last time, wow, that guy's on the wrong side of a double yellow line. Yeah, the last time I went to, last time I tried to get cash back at Fry's, they now charge for that. I was totally shocked. I was trying to do that for the ATM, and they said there was going to be a surcharge for that. I'm like, whoa, cash back when I'm paying with my debit card? Since when? No, decline, cancel. Yeah, I'm not paying a fee to get my own damn money. So yeah, not doing that anymore. But yeah, I got to remember to grab some cash. I absolutely had none. I'm trying to think of what night it was at work. I don't know. It was a night I was not having a good night. I want to say last Friday night, maybe. Anyway, it was one of the nights I went to work last week and not particularly having a good day. And I went into the break room on the north side, tried to get a Mountain Dew out of the machine, and the damn thing ate my dollar. Said it would give me a Mountain Dew and 20 cents back. It just ate my dollar. Didn't give me my dollar back. And one of the PAs was there, one of the lower level managers. The one I mentioned, at least I think I mentioned, told me that I couldn't eat under the conveyors. Out in front of the, and I'm not under the conveyors or something could fall out of the conveyors. Like, there's a platform around those conveyors, so nothing's gonna fall on me. But there's just a bunch of holes and stuff right outside the, south side, the small south side break room. I don't know. I think I mentioned her. Anyway, I don't know her name. I've got this bad habit of people whom I don't know their names. If I'm seeing them on a regular basis, I just make up a nickname in my head for them, and some of them are, I don't know, they're not all mean. Some of them are kind of mean. There's this one young guy that used to be a line loader in Inbound that I always used to refer to as Muppet. I guess where it gets bad is when I refer to him. Oh, you mean the Muppet over there? He literally looked and acted like a Muppet, though. I couldn't not. Yeah. Anyway, he's long gone. I think he quit or got fired ages ago. But anyway, yeah. So the AM that was in there that saw the machine eat my dollar, and I think the next machine over ate her money too, or maybe she was trying to pay with a credit card and it wouldn't work. I don't know. She was having issues with the machine as well, and she saw it eat my dollar, and I was having such a bad day. I was about ready to cry over it, and. Anyway, I don't know what her name is. In my head, I always call her Olga because she's just got that accent, and she's, I don't know, she's just got the manners. She seems like someone that should be named Olga. Anyway, she's like, there's a phone number. You can call the phone number. I'm like, yeah, and waste over $1 worth of my time. And I took pictures of it, but yeah, I try to catch them during business hours, which happen to be my sleeping hours. And the funny thing is that this is, to call and reference the machine number listed below, and the machine I was on doesn't have the machine number sticker is missing. Now the machine that she was having issues with next to it has a machine number. I did take a picture of it and took a picture of another one, but yeah, like how much time do I want to waste on a phone call and shit when the machine number's missing to have them mail me a check for $1? So that can get stuck in the loop of my mail that I'm not receiving because because my mailman's pissed because I don't empty my mailbox enough. It's like, no, it's just easier to just eat the dollar, but it's frustrating when that happens. Anyway, God, I don't even think why I was now I don't remember what I was gonna mention. I was going somewhere with this, with Olga and the thing eating my dollar. Oh yeah, so that was my last cash dollar that damn thing ate. Now, the vending at the main break room, which is on the east side of my Amazon building, and then the larger remote break room. There's a pretty big one, like right on the southwest corner of the building. Now, both of those have got the vending where I use my credit card. I'm comfortable using my credit card on those. And there's like a lot of quite a bit to choose from in the vending there. But yeah, the small break rooms on the north end, which is really close to like where the docks are that I work on the north and south side. So that's the break rooms I prefer to go to. But yeah, there's not much offered vending, and generally when I use that vending, I use cash. But yeah, I popped my last dollar in there. And then this morning when I left, and I left a little bit late, and I'll explain that when I get out of Walmart. But yeah, I was gonna go to the food truck, and I was like, fuck, I don't have any cash. And I did at one point last week I think I ran my debit card with him for $4 to get 2 burritos. Generally speaking, you just buy one for $2. I give him $2 cash. But I was like, yeah, I don't want to slide a card for $2. So I got 2 of them, which is fine. I was hungry, like I ate them, not a problem. But I don't know if he charges a surcharge for that. I haven't looked at my online banking to see if the charge is $4 even, or if I had to pay a convenience fee for running my card. But at any rate, if I'm not paying a fee, then I'm sure he probably is. And I'd just rather give the man cash. But I don't have any. I do now. Got a little bit of pocket cash for that sort of stuff. There hasn't been any overtime offered. So I'm not gonna do get like 2 overtime days like I did last week. Although I didn't really get 2 overtime days because Wednesday night was closed. But I would have been working Wednesday night. Kind of cool. I got paid for Wednesday. So my first overtime day, granted I didn't get overtime pay for it, but I got an extra day pay on top of like a day off that I got paid. And then Saturday night, Thursday night was my 1 overtime day. And then Friday night, did the overtime day. Saturday night, took the night off. I was trying to explain that in a couple other videos, and I just was not making a whole lot of sense. But basically, in a nutshell, what I kept trying to explain, and then I kept getting sidetracked, getting cut off, and then I was at work and had to bounce, was that Priscilla came, woke me up for some hot sex. That was a good thing. But then insisted that I take her to get food, spent way too damn, like, I'm still dumbfounded, like, how she spent that much money, like, what she ate that cost that much money at Carl's Jr. I go to Carl's Jr., it's never more than about $7 or $8 for me. So, and my total at that trip was $3. So I'm just a little dumbfounded by that. And I'm a little extra frustrated because we were kind of, like, once I was like, I was kind of frustrated with her. It just like throwing the like, oh, I'm on mute. No, I fucking work. Like, I don't sit on ass and call that working. Like, I'm actually up and doing real work. So when you text me when I'm at work, like, I can't just immediately text you back because I am working. I'll text you on my break, not always on my first break because my first break is super short. So maybe not till my lunch break. And as far as like, a lot of times, like when I wake up, if I wake up a little bit late for work, like forget responding. Like anybody that texted me before I woke up for work, yeah, I might not be texting them till after midnight when I get my lunch break. Because so then I texted her back and I'm like, it's like, sorry, I'm so bitter. I'm hungry and horngry. And if you know what, or I said I'm hangry and horngry, and if you know what hangry means, you can probably figure out what horngry means. And she wrote back that she would feed me and duck me after work. And I'm sure most everybody knows what word gets auto-corrected to duck by an iPhone. So that at least put a smile on my face. So as we were texting later on that day, like I just kept actually typing the word duck or ducking in reference to that. But she did say that she was going to feed me and duck me. The ducking happened, but somehow I ended up feeding her, and for what I thought was an obscenely high total at Carl's Jr. Anyway, we went back to my place, ate Carl's Jr. Actually, ate in the living room. It's still horribly cluttered in my living room, but we were able to clear out the couch. We were able to clear, like, there wasn't that much crap on the couch that we could clear off the whole couch. We both laid down, got cozy on the couch, watched a movie on Netflix. I'm not sure if my TV, I don't have a Netflix account. I've never had a Netflix account. So I don't know if my TV is logged into her account or if it's logged into my daughter Allison's account. Hell, for all I know, it might be still logged into Vanessa's account. Vanessa, who was my daughter Allison's guardian back when that was a thing. And I think the most I've talked about Vanessa since I've started this vlog going was when I took the trip a couple months ago to Flagstaff to go to her mother's funeral. Yeah, during the time that my daughter was a teenager and was like still like a minor and a teenager, and Vanessa was her legal guardian because for whatever stupid reason the court didn't, even though the law is pretty open and shut on it, with me being Allison's only living parent and there being no finding that I was an unfit parent. It should have been open and shut that I should have got custody. I mean, in hindsight, it's probably best that I didn't, but that's a whole nother can of worms I don't feel like opening right now. But anyway, and for the most part, that worked out really good. Like while Allison was, 15, 16, 17, living there with Vanessa, once she got her driver's license, Vanessa pretty much gave her free reign to come over to my place whenever she wanted, and she did quite a bit. My daughter, Allison, my older daughter. And anyway, so a lot of times I would also go over there to see her, and I got pretty close to Vanessa's mother. So, yeah, I definitely wanted to go to the funeral. And that, it wasn't called a funeral, it was called a celebration of life. I guess that's when you put the fun in funeral. Because, hey, look at the word, you can't have a funeral without fun. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm really feeling for Vanessa. I just found out her husband just died. So, wow, yikes, didn't see that coming. Last time I saw Scott, her husband Scott, he was working construction. He was climbing scaffolding. So I feel like the man never got to have a retirement. He just went from working climbing. He really wasn't that much older than me. I don't think he was more than maybe 8-9 years older than me. I mean, he was older than me, but not way older than me, you know. And I mean, the guy was. I'm just shocked. So Allison told me that he had cancer, and apparently it took him out pretty quick. So that's sad. I should try to get in touch with Vanessa and just see how she's holding up, because wow, I just can't imagine losing my mother and my spouse in like a 3-month period, 2-month period, however quick it's been. That's heavy. Trying to remember where I was going with this. Oh God. Short-term memory is so bad. So I was talking about. That's what it was. So so Priscilla and I came back Saturday, early Saturday afternoon. Now, mind you, I only ended up I worked Friday night. I went to sleep. I only maybe got 2 hours of sleep before she came over. Supposedly she was coming over to feed me and to duck me, and then somehow that got turned around where I needed to feed her. So I feel like I kind of got only half of what I was promised. And honestly, at that point, I didn't really want to eat, because I think I'd grab. Actually, that was probably the morning I got the 2 burritos from the food truck. Although I don't think he's ever there on Saturday. I don't know. Maybe I had sandwiches. I don't know. I know I wasn't particularly hungry. That's when we went to Carl's Jr. I just got the one $3 burger and didn't get anything more because I wasn't particularly hungry. But she insisted that I take her and get her food, and ran up a total that I didn't. Never spent that much at Carl's Jr. before, so yikes there. And went back. She logged into on my smart TV. Logged into Netflix. That's what I was talking about. Netflix. Yeah. So I'm not sure. Like, I don't have Netflix. I do have a smart TV, but I don't know if it's Vanessa's account, because I know at one time it was Vanessa's account. Allison's login on Vanessa's account is what she put on my smart TV back when she was like 15 or 16. I've had that TV for a while now. It doesn't feel dated though. It was so high end when I bought it that it's still pretty much holding its own as far as, you know, tech wise. In fact, I'm actually glad I got it when I did, because that was the last year that Sony made 3D TVs. So had I waited, you know, another year to get a TV, granted I could have got OLED and I would have better contrast and better, you know, better dark, better blacks, because my black, you can see especially on the corners of the screen, you can see the white, you know, the backlighting bleeding through because it's an LED TV. But yeah, I love my 3D stuff, so I'm really glad I was able to get a 3D TV when I did. Anyway, so I'm not sure whose Netflix account. I know it's not mine. Anyway, Priscilla and I watched You People, which is a new movie primarily starring Jonah Hill. There's another woman in it that's like the female lead. It's a rom-com. I actually like rom-coms. I do. I'm weird like that. I actually prefer. I'm one of the few guys that actually prefers rom-coms to action movies for the most part. So yeah, that's a bonus for me hanging with chicks watching movies, because I tend to like those kind of movies, and I really enjoyed the movie for sure. I don't remember the woman that played the female lead on it, but kind of a neat movie about an interracial couple. I can relate to that, and hell of an ensemble cast on it. Had Eddie Murphy in it, David Duchovny. I forget the name of the actress that plays Jonah Hill's character's mother. Like, I know her from so many movies, and now I'm forgetting what other movies she's in, but I like her, and her character was hysterical. And there were some other notable, like, cast members that had, like, bit parts in it, but Eddie Murphy was great in it. It's probably the best thing I've seen Eddie Murphy in quite a while. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the movie. And then later I looked it up on Wikipedia and was really disappointed to find out that it's never been released on physical media. There's no plans for it to be released on physical media. It did have a very small theatrical release. I'm not sure how small. It just said, limited theatrical release in select theaters. So it would have been possible to see it in a theater, but pretty much like the next week just went direct to streaming on Netflix, and it's a Netflix exclusive, which, whatever. I know how most people like watching movies. I like to own movies that I like, and it frustrates me that I can't buy that on a Blu-ray, because I would like to buy that on a Blu-ray. I'd be willing to spend a little bit more. Mostly I'm buying bargain bin Blu-rays, actually these I'm not buying any, but that's one. I went on Amazon. I was down to try to, if it was available on Blu-ray, I would have probably paid like whatever retail price is to get it, just because I really like the movie, and I want to keep the Eddie Murphy collection complete, want to keep the Jonah Hill collection complete, but apparently there's no plans to release that on physical media, and that kind of bums me out that that's the direction. And that's and I guess I've seen that coming for a while, but that's the first time an actual like feature film that I really liked. It's like, oh, this can't be bought on any actual physical media format. Well, that sucks. But enjoyed watching it with her. I was kind of getting frustrated because she was, towards the end of the movie, she kept like zonking out and falling asleep on the couch. I absolutely detest it when she falls asleep on the couch. Like, if you're that tired, we can stop the movie. Let's go to bed. Yeah, get naked. Let me play with your naked body and your naked sleeping body, and have my naked sleeping body next to it. That's a nice thing. I like that. But I don't like you on my couch snoring while I'm trying to watch a movie. Don't like that at all. Anyway, we made it to the end of the movie and went to bed. Round 2 happened. That's a good thing. And then she ended up taking off. Didn't want to stay in bed with me. Went, that's fine. She's like, well, I've got stuff I got to take care of. I'll see you later tonight at the Wander Inn. And I was all about that. That sounded great. But, yeah, it ended up not happening. I woke up at I did wake up about the time I would probably head to the Wander Inn, maybe like 9:30-ish. And I think I mentioned this in an earlier vlog. I had so just major abdominal pains. I just felt like knife stabbing into my abdomen. It was horrible. And it might have just been gas or constipation or whatever, but whatever it was, like it hurt. I went to the bathroom, no relief there, and just kind of stumbled back into bed and curled into the fetal position and kind of cried myself to sleep. And by the time I woke up, it was like 3 in the morning, maybe 3:30 in the morning. So super disappointed. Like I really did want to go out and enjoy a Saturday night with her and a Saturday night karaoke at Wander Inn, and totally didn't get to, largely because she insisted, it's fine, wake me up for some ducking, but like, this is the middle of my night. I only got to sleep for less than 2 hours. I need to, no, this is not the time for us to watch a movie together. This is not I enjoyed watching the movie, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. And will I talk to her about it? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. I keep so much of this shit just kind of bottled up inside, but it's just like, but yeah, I feel like I missed out on my Saturday night because of that. And who's to say that had I got the sleep I needed, if I'd have been able to go out anyway, because I did have the abdominal pain, whatever. But the bottom line is I went back to bed and I slept for hours because I was tired, because she woke me up and kept me up. It's like, want to wake me up for some bedroom fun and let me roll over and go back to sleep. That's awesome. But like, yeah, I don't know. We're on opposite schedules, and it's not a very conducive sort of thing. And I like my schedule. Just don't like it being fucked with. I need to be getting my ass. I need to be getting my ass inside Walmart because I still haven't got the stuff finished in that cassette case, and I'm determined to get that done this week. I'm just sick of looking at all the pieces of the of that Napa Valley case on my floor, and I'm worried I'm going to step on it and break more of it. I remember what I need. Finer sandpaper than what I have. Like a rubber curve sanding block. Finishing nails. And probably should get some hardware that would be good for attaching it to the wall times 3, since I'm going to be moving those other 2. Actually, probably times more than that, because I think I'm going to redo that whole wall in the hall. If I recall, I wanted to move that the case with the CDs in it too, and then which involves moving all the cassette cases above it. Just doing the whole wall. It's going to be nice though. But yeah, I want to finish that, so I'm headed in to handle that next. So yeah, because of that, my Saturday night ended up being completely dysfunctional. I was really disappointed that, bad enough that she went out without me on Saturday night to the bar, had a good time without me because she's wide awake because she got her sleep. I didn't. The least she could have done, I think, was after she left the bar, at least come back to my place, but she didn't. She stayed the night at her place. Or maybe somewhere else for all I know. I doubt it. I'm sure she went home, but disappointed she didn't come to my place. Now, she did end up coming later on Sunday, but no Sunday bedroom fun. And on top of that, she ended up falling asleep in my bed with her clothes on. God, I hate that. Just like no. No, if you're going to sleep with your clothes on, go home and do that. Don't do that here. Because that's just frustrating for me. So that's why I was in such a crappy mood Sunday night when I went into work. Because she came into my place, that got me all aroused by being there. I'm thinking there's going to be some more action, and then she falls asleep fully clothed in my bed. And then she wakes up and she's not down for any more action. She's like, oh, I gotta go. Really? So you came here just to sleep in my bed with clothes on? Because don't do that. Oh, you don't need it every day. Well, kind of I do. Kind of I'm hoping I'm finding at some point I'll find somebody else that's into it every day. Because apparently she's just not. But anyway. Oh, gotta go on. I can't believe I wasted 28 minutes on this video. Cool. I've been wanting to get all that out. That's what I was trying to get out the other mornings, evenings on my way to work. Can't remember if I shot video on Sunday, but it seems, Sunday and Monday both times on the way to work while I was all flustered and trying to get that out. I'm in a much better headspace now. Last night at work was actually really awesome. I mentioned as I was on my way to work, my last video was on my way to work, that I wasted the majority of, not last night, but the night before, in this class with this young, bubbly learning assistant. I have no idea how young that girl was. She's probably not even old enough to drink, but she's just absolutely adorable and bubbly and cute and fun and flirty. And Wayne was in the class. That made it entertaining because Wayne is just such a goofball. It amazes me he still works there. And then he disappeared for like we left for lunch, or no, was it lunch or break? I can't remember. Well, let's see. I don't know which. The class started before lunch. And then we went back to it after lunch, and then we went for third break, and then we came back for more of the class. The class was so much longer than it needed to be. Big waste of time. Anyway, and then when she went to give us our practical training on how to use the thing at the end of the night, it was clear that she didn't really know how to use it either. The thing's called a Stuff It machine. I need to put a link in the video to see what it is. Although I've yet to find a video that really shows how we have them configured at Amazon. All the videos seem to show it as like a free roaming thing, and ours are attached. Each one is dedicated to a specific dock door with like this extending conveyor system with it. So anyway, I started my shift last night. Went directly to learning because I knew I needed to finish my practical training. There's been a change in policy with fluid unload, where everybody that's doing fluid unload needs to wear a hard hat. Not too thrilled about that, but whatever. That is what it is. And it's kind of funny, like sometime last week I had some PA that I've never met before came in to review a document, like a Word document with me, or a PDF file or something. She ended up reading it to me because I couldn't get a font big enough that I could read, because my vision is awful at this point. But about all the procedures and rules for Amazon rules for hard hat wearing and of course that kind of stuff, like you can read it to me, it's in one ear and out. Like by the time you leave, I'll be lucky if I remembered that you actually came and talked to me about it. But I sign off that I went through that stuff. I don't know, it's just Amazon covering their ass, but yeah, the last thing that ended up happening, not last night, but the night before, with the class with the cute young bubbly girl. I need to find her name. She's so freaking adorable. The last thing that Ty checked me out of. I actually have my own hard hat. Like, it's mine. The cleaning staff cleans them. I find that hysterical. But yeah, I can decorate it with stickers or a magic marker or whatever. So I don't know how much I'm going to use it. I used to absolutely detest working in fluid unload, to the point it got to the point where I refused to do it. But it's an entire different thing now with these Stuff It machines. Started my shift in learning, went to learning, and talked to one of the upperies, older than me. I say he's older than me. He looks old. I look at him, I see somebody who looks older than me, which probably means he's like 8 or 10 years younger than me. Seems to be my experience around there. But anyway, talked to him about, I need to do that. He's like, you know what, I'll just get another learning ambassador to do that. And we talked about her, and he's like, yeah, she's kind of new. I'm like, well, she's adorable, but she doesn't seem to have any experience on that machine. I feel like I didn't really learn a whole lot. I said, I'm eager to learn how to use the machine, though. So ended up connecting me with another learning ambassador, who's somebody I used to work with in inbound. She was a line loader when I was a line loader, and also a water spider. So I don't know her name, but like, she's familiar with me. I'm familiar with her. It's not like somebody I knew. I'd never seen the young bubbly girl before. And she's thick and dark. I like that. Anyway, she brought me in and showed me, and she just showed me one-on-one how to operate the Stuff It machine. And that was functional. In fact, I was ready to start just unloading the truck with it, and I loaded quite a few boxes. She's just like, oh, you're good, we're done. I'm like, oh, come on. She's like, I don't have time for you to do a whole wall. I'm like, I just want to do a couple of walls. I want to be able to do get the hang of this. And Joe, who is now working front half, Joe and Ty are like, hey, you can come back. We need more people. They were stoked to see me over there. The last time I actually worked a shift there was that half shift I did TDR over there. And I told him I was going to come back, and I ended up not coming back, and I felt kind of guilty of that, because I was all about it. I really do need to do an actual shift on the Stuff It machine, so I can... Because I feel like if I do it within the next few days, like, I feel like I still remember how to do it, but if they ask me to do it in a month, I'll be like, I don't remember how to do this. But I feel like it's fresh now. The controls are bizarre. Like, there's this... It's almost like a motorcycle throttle, where you put your hand on it and you grip it and you turn it like that. And it has to be held a certain way, because there's an optical sensor to make sure that you're firmly holding on to it. Because I had a couple times I was sort of using it and it stopped. I'm like, what do I do? She's like, you got to keep your hand on it. 2 people can be on the platform at once, but she said only 1 person can operate it at once. So if both people are trying to operate it, it just doesn't move at all. So that's probably the problem we were having. Like the young girl that was trying to show us how to do it was me and this other guy that got on it. We were the only 2 that had time to get on it yesterday morning, right at the end of shift. And apparently she didn't know that, but the gal that did it yesterday, I told her, it's like, I'd probably unload a truck by myself on this thing. This thing's awesome. But yeah, I took it to its highest setting and its lowest setting, and I was trying to get some more boxes, and I realized it's probably not. It's got optical sensors, so you can't actually drive it into the boxes. Because at one point I was like advancing it into the trailer, and there's like a little knob to the left that you turn to do that. And at first I'm being like super careful with it. And then she's like, you don't really have to worry about that. Just keep going. It'll stop when it's got an optical sensor. It won't hit anything. You just hold it until it stops by itself. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like inching it over, but then there was like a row of boxes on the floor. So I took it to its lowest setting, and not only do you have a platform that you can raise and lower and kind of move side to side, but it's got a conveyor that you can raise or lower. And I took it to its lowest position, and it damn near goes to the ground. So one of the things I really didn't like about working fluid unload was picking boxes up from the floor of the trailer, because I would have to lift it up to the height of the old flex conveyors, which they're not using anymore. Which, I mean, they're not high, they're about waist high, but just lifting heavy boxes from the floor to, above my waist, put it on that, and then sometimes those things never made it in the truck like they needed to, so I'd have to lift them and then walk with them a ways, sometimes walk with them quite a ways, because those old flex conveyors were so dysfunctional. And now it's just like, I'm able to, with the Stuff It machine, I'm able to get the conveyor damn near to the floor. So all I did was just basically pick them up and roll them onto the thing, and it just sucked them away. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. This actually makes me want to work in this department now. But yeah, I did all the ones on the floor, and I was ready to raise it and start working. I did actually raise it and start working on some more, because I was trying to do the ones higher up, and I couldn't get any closer. And I realized there was a row of boxes on the floor of the trailer, and that's what was stopping the optical sensor. Because obviously I don't want to be reaching, at arm's length to pull boxes. So farther, body mechanics. Like if you're reaching out at arm's length to pull stuff, you don't have as much strength as when you're reaching, just a couple feet in front of your, like foot and a half in front of your body. Yeah. So, but I moved those out of the way, and then I was able to advance it further in. I started and I was going pretty quick, and she's just like, I'm going to come back. But then when I got from there, of course, I still needed to, I needed to go back with her to learning to finish up the whole, to get certified for the Stuff It machine, and then just all the red tape that's involved in learning new equipment and departments and whatever, and getting so I'm in the system, so I have permissions for it and whatnot. And finalized all that. At that point, it's like, well, I need to at least go back to outbound MP, which is my main department, and see if they have enough forklift drivers, because they had already told me they were holding a spot for me on the south side. So I don't want to just not show up and have them be short on drivers. And went to the north side, couldn't find any leadership. Got to chat with Malik for a little bit, though, and was showing him the video on YouTube that I want to link to this, that shows what the Stuff It machine is. Because a lot of the people that work in outbound, like, they never get to that end of the building where inbound fluid is. And it's so different. It doesn't even look like the same department with all the Stuff It machines. Like, it's just so different. And so many less people there now. Because it used to take a lot of people to make those flex conveyors work. But and I think a lot of the reason there's less people, I mean, it requires less people to do the job now. So, yay, Amazon, more machines, less people, whatever. I'm not going to be one of those people getting cut. I don't think so. I'm good. It's less miserable work. I'm happy with that. But it's but yeah, so he hadn't heard about it. So I was showing Malik the videos, like, that looks trippy as hell. I said, yeah, I can't wait to go over there and actually use the thing. So I feel like I could unload a trailer just all by myself, like completely by myself. I mean, conceivably, the thing that holds two people, but I want to kind of see how quick I can unload a trailer by myself with this machine. I really do. You know, as long as Joe or whoever's, you know, I don't even want to go in there unless it's Joe and Ty. I don't know. I'm going to go, I'm at a point where I can pick what department I work in. If I'm going to go over there, which is not my regular department, I want to work with my homies. Yeah, I don't want to go there with other people that don't know me. Because I'm sure if I tell them I want to do a trailer by myself, they'll probably just let me do it. Whereas, you know, I think some other aim would be like, no, we need to have two people in the trailer. Nah, it's me. I got this. But yeah, so I couldn't. So saw Malik, showed him the video of the stuff. It couldn't find any leadership on the north side, and I went to north side first because this north side outbound MP is like really close to learning, and across the building to the south side outbound docks, and still couldn't find any leadership. Not an unusual thing in the outbound MP department, but what I did find out, and I forget who it was that I talked to, probably John. Yeah, it was definitely John. John was trying to open a door of UPP with sides in it, and whoever loaded that truck up for us didn't do it well, and they were just all trying to pour out the door. He was having a TDR issue. I was trying to get a hold of Joe, the area manager, to figure out how to proceed at that point, since he couldn't open the doors without the contents of the trailer spilling in, which you're not supposed to do, obviously. And he's like, I don't know. They're not answering the radio. Neither of them are. He's like, you should probably just get on a forklift. He goes, I think we only got 2 drivers on this side, you know, plus me, and you see I got my hands full. I'm like, oh, damn. So, yeah, I was busy as hell all night. Good night, though. It's just kind of, honestly, I hardly had to talk leadership. I mean, I know what I'm doing. I got the forklift thing. It's kind of a bummer. I can't open and close my own doors right now because of the, you know, temporary suspension of me doing TDR until I can get a retrain class. But I mean, that's fine. Between John and Edwin, it wasn't like I had to wait to get doors opened or closed. And and I sent the pallet of cactus cooler on its way. I know, I said I was trying to get that lost, and I managed to keep it lost for a while, but I sent it on its way. Anyway, sorry, I was probably boring as hell for everybody. I can't believe I've sitting there been talking for 42 minutes since I left the damn bank, and it took me like, what, probably less than 5 minutes to drive from the bank to Walmart. Anyway, I'm going inside. I'm getting the stuff finished, my cassette project. Thanks for coming with me on this, listening to my my rambling to myself.